Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with lesser-known works by major composers. And this one I think is really going to surprise you. It's by Dvořák. And one of you asked a question recently, asked me to do a series on Dvořák's choral works, which I've done, by the way. There's videos about them, and I've reviewed them individually, and they're marvelous and terribly neglected. I mean, the Requiem is one of the great 19th century settings. The Stabat Mater has a fine reputation, more honored in the breach probably, but it does get performed pretty often by choral societies. His late Te Deum is a knockout. The Spectre's Bride, a spooky cantata thing, is just terrific. Even the oratorio, St. Ludmila, there's a problem with versions and cuts and things like that, but it's full, just chock full of absolutely gorgeous music. So I get it. So there is my quick little acknowledgement that the choral works deserve a considerable amount of attention, far more than they normally get. However, I wanted to talk about an orchestral work because, and it's like I said, this one it's puzzling. It's very interesting, very interesting. It's the three Slavonic Rhapsodies, Opus 45. I happen to have the Czech fill here, conducted by Bohumil Gregor, doing them. He's not the best at it, by the way. They're good, but not, fabulous. There are better performances of them. The bottom line, though, is that these Slavonic Rhapsodies, you would think, would be enormously popular. Because, first of all, they're Slavonic, as Dvořák, Slavonic dances, he's the guy. He's the Slavonic guy. That was his special sort of, private reserve of musical inspiration, number one. Number two, they're national romantic nationalist works, saturated with Czech folky stuff that's just beautiful, wonderful, wonderful tunes. They're dynamic. They're brilliantly scored, excitingly scored for a big orchestra. The middle one in G minor is very turbulent. The outer ones are grand by turns and folky, dancey at the same time. I mean, it's nothing but good music. And there are three of them, and they're one opus, and you can do all three of them in a program. They last 15 minutes each, roughly 14 minutes each. So it would be almost 45 minutes, as long as a symphony. They're full of contrast. I would love to do a program that has all three of them. I really would, because I think it would hold up extremely well. The third was particularly interesting because it opens with a beautiful harp solo, absolutely wonderful harp solo, and then proceeds to a tune that, well, I mean, it could come from Berlioz's Corsair or something like that. I mean, it's just oh gosh, it's a marvelous work, absolutely marvelous. It's so brilliantly scored, and Smetana got pissed at Dvořák actually, because Ma Vlast begins with a harp solo, and he thought that Dvořák was stealing his thunder. To which Dvořák's response was something like, "Who the hell gave him a license to begin something with a harp? I mean, when did he become the only harp guy in the universe?" or something like that. It was all very amusing, but the pieces just never caught on. They haven't. They were inspired, in a sense, by, the Liszt Hungarian Rhapsodies. That's the proximate model, just as we had the Brahms Hungarian dances and Dvořák did the Slavonic dances, then Liszt did the Hungarian Rhapsodies, so Dvořák did the Slavonic Rhapsodies, and he had the entire world covered. But as so often happens with Dvořák, he was always straddling the Wagner side of the debate between programmatic and abstract music and the Brahms side. And the universe decided that it was more important for him to be regarded as a Brahmsian. And the Slavonic dances, of course, were okay because Brahms had done the Hungarian dances, so that was acceptable. But the Hungarian Rhapsodies were Liszt, evil Liszt. Remember Liszt and Wagner, they were the bad guys in that debate. And so the Slavonic Rhapsodies, which are certainly Lisztian in their Actually, they're better structured and better orchestrated and all kinds of things, but that's okay. They were neglected in the same way that his late tone poems were neglected, because Dvořák was supposed to be a symphonist. He was supposed to be a specialist in abstract music, instrumental music, and these quasi-programmatic or nationalistic pieces, somehow they existed on a lower level. But there is no evidence whatsoever that Dvořák regarded them with anything like serious love. I mean, they have their own opus number. They're 3 in a group. It was a major work and a major effort. And you really should hear them. They are beautiful and fun and full of everything we love about Dvořák. But, like as with all composers who wrote lots of music, they have a few famous pieces, which guarantee their reputation, but also pigeonhole them, also stick them into a certain niche, which doesn't tell the whole story. And it's certainly the case with Dvořák, who was Romantic music's most versatile genius, as my book about him says, which you can certainly, hopefully, purchase or something and read. These are terrific works and worth getting to know if you don't have a comprehensive knowledge of Dvořák's orchestral output, because there's a lot there. A lot more than people suspect in various media. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.